Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we wanted to talk to you about banking. I know we did a whole video on starting a bank while living in the United States, being able to open one in the Philippines. If you're interested, you can go check that out. But we did want to do a deep dive into banking in general for the Philippines.
Yes. So obviously, moving to a different country, one, you need to have funds, right? So not just funds, but you need to have access to those funds. And we've already also shared that the reason why we've opened up the bank account was due to uh, purchasing of a brand new vehicle, right? Is a credit card. There are credit cards out there that have no foreign transaction fees,
That
right?
was
So that's
what
a
we were
great
looking
thing.
for.
Yeah, that's a very good thing. What's up, son? Come here. Say hi to the camera.
Huh?
Say hi to the camera. Say hi to the camera.
Hi guys.
Sit right here. Okay. What's up? What's up? What did you need?
Okay, so mommy Hamiko said that she would play another baseball game round in Mario Party, and she didn't do it.
Okay, well go over there and play, babe. Come on. Love you.
Could I play football out here?
Babe, we're trying
Please. You catch
to...
it.
You haven't let us take your tooth out, so
Let me see.
we gotta take that tooth out.
Say smell for the camera. Now,
See the tooth?
before you take it out.
Oh yeah, before
Smile.
and after.
So before and
Cheese.
after, say cheese.
No.
Cheese.
Um,
All right, so that's our son, and he wants to play football, which is great. I think that's awesome. Anyways, where were we? Okay, credit cards. Right. So there's a lot of benefits of credit cards, right? Because there's no foreign transaction fees, and what that means is you can go into a mall, a store, and swipe your credit card, and there is no. You could be in a different country, and they're not going to charge you for the foreign transaction fee at all. All right. The problem is with a credit card, you can pull money out, right, from an ATM card, but the thing is, there's a transaction fee in that. So to mitigate the risk of losing a credit card, Dee and I have multiple credit cards that we have in place, and those are
USAA,
USAA,
which is a military affiliated credit card, and uh, they don't have transaction fees, and they also have one of the lowest APR rates
yes, right,
nationwide.
right,
And then we also have Apple. Our Apple card is a MasterCard, so um, it's not something we can use everywhere, but it's accepted at many locations. It has cashback abilities, so whenever you swipe it, you can get a percentage of the money, and it's cash. It's instant. You get it the next day. So we really like the Apple card, and um, and it's all on your phone, so you can, it's very safe and secure. We had to get rid of our old credit card, which was the Costco card. That was a really good card. It had some of the best cash returns, but you only get that once a year. Like, I think we get it around February, but then you have to keep your account open in order to get it. And with Costco, you have to have your membership. It's $150 a year, and then you also get some benefits from the money you spend. You get that as well. You get like a check cut to you every year that you can use towards your purchases. But Costco isn't going to be a good fit for us because we are no longer going to be going to Costco every month like we normally do. And it just doesn't make any sense to keep our Costco membership open if we can't actually access Costco.
yes. So those are the multiple credit cards that we have. I've already went over having the ability to pull cash from an ATM card, but unfortunately, when you pull cash from an ATM card through a credit card, there's going to be a lot of fees, a very high fees, and you don't want to do that. So the next thing we went to is how do we find which bank is going to allow us to pull money out of any ATM
Mm-hmm.
without any transaction fees, right? And that goes to
Charles Schwab. That is the absolute best bank to have if you're going to be overseas. Um, you do have to open it while you're in the United States. Charles Schwab has no fees, and if you are charged a fee, they will reimburse you at the end of every month. So that's a really good benefit for Charles Schwab. Everything's done online, it's all electronic banking, so we really don't have to worry about like an ATM or going to a bank. You can just do all your transactions online.
Yes, that is absolutely correct. So I think for the most part, we're going to be using Charles Schwab if we have to go into an ATM, because
Absolutely.
any ATM transaction fee, Charles Schwab is going to pay back. Okay, so we've already dealt with credit cards. We have multiple credit cards just in case one gets lost, right?
Charles Schwab,
There is
Charles Schwab.
there is a if you lose a credit card, right, you don't want to just have one credit card, because if you lose it, then it's going to be like a 30-day thing where you get your credit card back, right? Because when you call and say, hey, you know what, my credit card is lost or compromised or whatever it may be, the credit card, whoever you have it with is going to send it to your address here in the United States, and whoever you have here in the United States has to send it to Philippines. So it's
It's a
just time
long
consuming, right? So
process.
that's why we have multiple credit cards.
Mm-hmm.
And the decision for attaining some of those credit cards, one, Apple credit card, you get percentage back. We've already talked about that. There is no
Transaction
foreign
fees.
transaction fees, right? But we're not going to be pulling money from
Apple.
Apple. Number two is USAA. So USAA is great because if we ever have to rent a car, they have rental car insurance, and they also have travel insurance. Okay, and then the third credit card that we mentioned was, what was it?
That was it. It was just those are the
Oh,
two
oh,
main
so the
credit
two main
cards.
credit cards. We also have a credit card through Chase. And in Costco, we already talked about how we're not going to use Costco. We're going to cancel that card. Okay, so we talked about those credit cards already, and then we talked about a debit card, right? So Charles Schwab allows you to not have any ATM fees at all. So I can go to any bank in Philippines, actually any bank in the world,
Mm-hmm.
pull money out, and Charles Schwab will actually uh, refund me back at the end of the month for whatever the transaction that the bank is going to charge me.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why Charles Schwab is amazing,
That's
right?
the best bank to
That's the
have.
bank to have if you're definitely traveling and
A
you're going to be
traveler.
pulling a lot of money out of bank accounts. And then the third thing is
Remitly. How do you
Remitly. Yeah,
move
right.
your
So
money from your American bank accounts into your Philippine bank? Or even how do you send yourself money while
right,
you're in the Philippines?
exactly. So there is no easy way around it. If you have to do a transaction from a U.S. bank account to a Filipino bank account, we've tried it. They're going to charge you a lot of money, and the best way for us that we've tried is through.
Remitly.
Okay.
And I mean, okay, so we've actually looked at other ways too. So like we've looked at American Bank doing a wire transfer fee. That's going to be about $25. If we were to do direct deposit into the Philippine bank, it's not really ideal for us because we want to keep our accounts open in America.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, also, something else that we tried is direct bank transfer. You know how like some banks will actually direct deposit like on a monthly basis money directly into a Philippine bank account. We tried that; it doesn't work for whatever reason.
We weren't able to
We
link
weren't
the
able to
accounts.
link both accounts, and they can't go back and forth. I think it has to do with the Philippine bank account being a SWIFT and SWIFT bank account, and the banks here in the United States totally run on a different thing, because our bank tried to send a transaction to Philippine National Bank in a small amount. It didn't go through, and then they tried to pull it out. It didn't go through, so we didn't even see it on the Philippine bank account. And that's what our banks wanted to do, was basically verify that there was a small amount that was deposited and a small amount that was removed, and it didn't even go through at all. So we went out of that. We were like, you know what, that's not going to work. And then we tried Remitly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Remitly is pretty great for us. It works for us. You're not getting the best exchange rate. I think the best exchange rate we're going to get is if we use our Charles Schwab at an ATM. It's probably going to be the best exchange rate we
Mm-hmm.
can get.
Yes.
But we are trying to put funds into our Philippine bank account because we want to be able to establish that credit so that we can go and buy a vehicle or so that we can get a loan in the Philippines.
Okay. So something else that I wanted to address was Remitly. So currently, right now, I think the last time we did send a transaction from Remitly, the exchange rate was at 50 for $1 was 56 uh, peso.
So with Remitly, the exchange rate was 56 and the exchange rate that they gave us was 54 pesos.
So as you can see, if you transfer, $1,000 to Philippines, they're gonna take, you know, 2 peso per dollar, right? So you're missing out on, if you sent 1,000, then you're missing out on 2,000 peso, which is not bad, right? That's the transaction fee that they have. And something else that we learned recently regarding Remitly is that if we send it directly from a bank account, that it doesn't charge at all. Like there's no transaction fee. So I think that the transaction fee is they're actually taking the money out of the exchange rate. So instead of them giving us the actual exchange rate at that time, which is 56 peso, they were only giving us an exchange rate of 54 peso.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else?
I think when it comes to trying to figure out how much money we should take with us, like cash on hand, or if we should get pesos or anything, I think what we came to the realization is we should just use our Charles Schwab for everything.
Right.
Really.
So we were actually contemplating requesting um, peso, right, money or currency from while we're here in the United States and carry it with us in the plane. But unfortunately, there's a whole there's a whole bunch of videos out there right now stating that the uh, the people in the airport will actually take the stuff from you, or they're going to try to, and we're not even going to risk that. So we are planning not to take any cash at all with us when we are moving around. There's already enough stuff that we have to watch out for, right? And then additionally, you have to watch out for airport staff when you get to Philippines. That's like we want to mitigate as many risks as possible.
The thing about like traveling with cash, there's a maximum amount of Filipino cash you can travel with,
Mm-hmm.
versus like you can travel with up to 10,000 American and not have to, claim it, report it. But when they do find it or whatever, you're gonna have to show them proof as to like where you got your money from, and then it's just like they could confiscate it, just because they want to take it,
Right. Yeah, and we don't want
and
to deal with that.
yeah, and then the other piece is if you're not allowed to take more than, is it like
50,000 peso.
50,000 pesos, $1,000?
Yes, less than
So
$1,000.
less
About
than 1,000
900 and some change dollars.
dollars USD is equal to 50,000 pesos. So if you had more than that, then you'd have to, what is it? What is it called when you customs claim, or you'd have to report it
You have to
to
report it. Yes.
customs?
Yeah, you have to report it to customs.
So that's kind of, that's even tricky as well. So we're just going to not be walking around with wads and wads of money. It's just not a good idea.
Mm-hmm. So that's pretty much, I think that's from the top of my head, that's for the most part some of the risk that we mitigated. One is building credit. That's why we have a Philippine bank account. Two is try to keep as much of our money as we can by through foreign transaction fees. You know what I mean? Getting those credit cards. Three is if we ever go into like travel outside the Philippines, or we are renting a car, some of the credit cards that we're going to be using have insurance coverage. And then three is there is no ATM fees through Charles Schwab, and then simultaneously funding a bank in Philippines so that way we can build credit and eventually purchase a vehicle and or pay for rent or pay for property or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we definitely have been trying to figure out the ins and outs, what's the
Mm-hmm.
best way, the best rate. And it's just going to be that we're never going to get the full rate. That's just the truth.
Right.
Doesn't matter if you go like to one of those exchange windows, you're still not getting the best rate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. So if you take your dollars in Philippines, I know when I was there in 2018, you didn't get the actual international exchange rate. It was like 4 peso
Less per
yes,
dollar.
per dollar.
That adds
Yeah.
up really
Yes,
quickly.
and then the thing is too is like they made me write down the serial number of the bills that I turned in on a sheet of paper, and it was like it was just taking a long time.
And
One,
you turn in your
right,
address.
right,
And,
exactly. You're like out there in the middle of this in the street, or oh, you go
right. It's
into
actually,
when I went into the hallway,
you're pretty vulnerable.
I had like $1,000 in cash. I'm trying to exchange it, right? It's all hundreds. So I'm laying out all these hundreds, $100 bills,
and
right?
now
And
you
then
need to
they give me a piece of paper, and they
write out
expect
the
me to write
serial.
down the serial number, right? While there's other people behind me that are actually waiting to do the exchange rate. So it was kind of like sketch. It was very sketchy. Just the fact that like there's other people behind me. That's one. Number two, it's like I had to take my time, right? And at that time, I think I had somebody else with me, maybe my mom.
So it puts you guys both
Yeah,
in a really
it
bad
was like
situation.
it was a very bad situation.
Yeah.
So
Now, there are some limits to using an ATM. I mean, there's a daily limit. Also, I mean, we've run into some issues just trying to send money Remitly. Like, it takes 3 days for us to see the funds pulled from our account and for it to show up there. It takes 3 days to send it from one American account to another American account. So we're constantly running into some, some time issues. So you just got to have a lot of time on your hands when you are transferring money. You can't need it right away. And then there's daily limits, maximum $400 from an ATM might be your daily limit.
yeah, granted that's that's a lot of money, but when you go to a different country and you're trying to buy like a washer, dryer, or a stove, it's gonna be up there,
Yeah.
And some I was looking at prices, and some of the prices are like 20,000 peso, 30,000 peso, and you don't want to be walking around with all that cash.
No way.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we appreciate
say
you
anything?
stopping by. Thanks
You
for
wanna say
watching our
anything?
video.
You want to say anything, babe?
We are moving
Say
to
what?
the Philippines.
Are you ready? Are you excited to go to the Philippines? You are. What are you looking forward to?
The pool.
The what?
The pool.
The pool.
The
Well, we're not gonna
pool.
have a pool right away, babe. We're not gonna have a pool right away. But what else? What else are you looking forward to?
I don't know.
You don't know? Well, I'll tell you what. I'm looking forward to
Here, please
waking
stop.
up early in the morning and
Catching spiders?
catching
Okay,
spiders, and we are going to fight these spiders. I'm looking forward to waking up to the sound of a rooster, making a lot of noise in the morning. I'm looking forward to taking these kids to school every day, right? I'm looking forward to my children not being scared of bugs, all right? Yeah, you don't like bugs? Well, there, you can have lots of bugs, spiders and things like that. Okay? All right, say
All
bye.
right.
Say, close out the camera or close out the video.
Bye. Hope you like our other videos.
Hey! All right, guys. Well, thank you for joining us. Carpe diem. Seize the day.
Seize the day.